Hello, Jay here. Welcome to Beginning Guitar Chapter 1. Okay, this is exciting. We get to learn our first chords today. We're going to learn E major and E minor. Okay, now I do have a tutorial video for reading chord diagrams, so check that out if you need a little help, but we'll review some of that right now. Okay, first of all, I just want to talk about the way we're going to be talking about the fingers. It's I for index, M for middle, R for ring, P for pinky, and then we won't be using the thumb for some of these first chapters, but we will talk about the thumb as the book goes. Okay, now for our chord diagram, or these boxes, each line going up and down represents a string, and your first string, or the high E string, is on the far right, and then it's just going to go second string, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and your sixth string is the far left. Now the lines going across from left to right represent the frets, and all of these are going to be based around your first and second fret and going to have open strings. So when you see a fret reference, like a 2 in this case, pointing to that particular fret, that means that that's where that chord's kind of based around, and it'll kind of help you find where it is. Okay, now when you see a O or a 0 above the string, that's going to mean an open string, and then it'll have the fingers, which fingers I'm going to suggest. Now some chords are going to be just one example, and that's the way I'm going to suggest to learn it. Sometimes there's going to be some options, and I'm going to number those in order from 1, 2, 3, going up a little bit further from there sometimes. Okay, let's go ahead and get into our E major. Okay, now with your middle finger, go to your second fret on the 5th string, ring fingers on the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and then index fingers on the 1st fret on the 3rd string, and you're going to have your open 6th string, open 2nd, and open 1st string. That's your E major. Okay, here's a mini E major. If the full chord is a little too tricky right now, just go index finger on your 1st fret 3rd string, and then have your open 2nd and 1st string, and just avoid your other strings. Okay, here's another mini E major. We're going to add our middle finger now to the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and we have our index finger on the 1st fret on the 3rd string, open 2nd and 1st string, and then just try to hit those 4 notes only. In E minor, just remove your index finger. So I still have my middle finger on the 2nd fret and my ring finger on the 2nd fret on the 5th and 4th string. And that's the way I'm going to suggest to learn your E minor. Now there's also a nice way to fret this one too, where you just use your index in your middle, and that's what I'm giving you for E minor number 2. And that's cool too. Now the benefit of having the middle and the ring is that it's an easy switch to E major. It's also going to get us used to getting our fingers ready for an E major, but also once we start to learn, let's say, A minor, you're going to start to see that some of these finger systems will be the same for different chords. So it's good also to think about certain fingers, but then again, there are many options, and it's also personal choice, so you can check them out too and see if you like them. Okay, for an E minor mini, we can just have the open 1st, 2nd, and 3rd string, and try to avoid the other strings. Okay, here's another mini E minor. You could use your middle finger or your index finger. I'm going to use my middle on the 2nd fret 4th string, and then have your open 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string. And just try to only hit those 4 notes. Okay, now as far as holding a pick, what you could do if you're a righty, just grab the pick at the point with your opposite hand, your left hand, and then just put your thumb on the top of it, and then just use your index finger to kind of snap it in there and grab it. Now when you strum, you don't have to have a fist. It doesn't have to be intense like that. You could just sort of open up a little bit and be relaxed, but it should look like you could chip something away with that pick. Now sometimes guitars have different grips and different techniques, so you could also experiment with that too, but that's kind of a good way to start off your strumming. Now your fingers can also open up if you like, or you sort of keep them in, but I recommend don't be too tight with it, but certain musics might call for a little more intense grip like that, but you'll sort of see me like that. Okay, when you strum, just have a resting point right on your kind of where your forearm's starting on the inside of your elbow, and just rest it on the guitar and just let your hand just glide on down like that. So as we start to strum, it's kind of that motion. Okay, now as far as our counting goes, there's going to be lines basically separating each line into four, and each represents a bar or a measure. And I'm going to be calling them a bar. And each bar is going to have 4 beats. And that's what we call 4/4 meter. And very common, you hear it all the time. Probably the most popular. You might even hear a drummer count in something like 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're always counting in fours for all of these strum patterns throughout this book. We will also explore some different time meters as the book goes too, but for the most part, just think of it as 4 beats per bar. This chapter's strum pattern is going to feature quarter notes, and the way we count quarter notes is just 1 note on each beat, so it'll be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now when you see a box without a bottom, that's a down strum. So all you're going to do is just go straight down your strings like that. That's what we call a down strum or a downstroke. Okay, now here is the pattern without a chord. I'm just going to have my open strings ringing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just be playing each of these 1 or 2 times, but I recommend repeat them all 4 to 8 times or more, and check out some different tempos. Try it slow at first, go to medium, and then you can push your tempos and try some fast. Go ahead and grab your E major chord, and we're going to go 4 bars with that pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar. I do number 1 a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar. Okay, let's look at number 2. Grab your E minor chord, and we're going to go 4 bars with our pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar. Okay, for number 3, we're going to have an 8-bar progression. We're going to go 4 bars of E major into 4 bars of E minor. And when I do that switch, I'm just going to remove my index finger from an E major to an E minor. Okay, here comes number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar. Switch. Fifth bar. Sixth bar. Seventh. Eighth. Okay, for number 4, we're going to go 2 bars of E major into 2 bars of E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar. Okay, for number 5, we're going to go 1 bar of E major into 1 bar of E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar. Okay, for number 6, we're going to introduce a longer note. This is called a whole note, and if you look at the 3rd bar of number 6, you're going to see a slanted rectangle. So when you see that, just give it a down strum, but let that note ring for 4 beats like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can just relax your hand. The main thing is to let that note be long. We're also going to be looking at long note study for this chapter, so stay tuned after, and we'll learn a little bit more about all the long notes and how we'll be using them. Okay, now here comes number 6. It's a 3-bar progression with our normal pattern on an E major and then a whole note on bar 3. For this one, I'm going to play it 2 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Repeating. 1. Second bar. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 7, we're going to have an E minor for the first 2 bars, and we're going to have a whole note on bar 2. That's going to be that long chord lasting for 4 beats. Then we'll switch it to an E major with our normal pattern for the next 2 bars on bar 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 7 a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 2, 2, 3, 4. Bar 3, 2, 3, 4. Bar 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now for number 8, we're going to introduce the whole note rest. When you see that rectangle box hanging down from the second to top line, it's going to be on bar 3. That's what we call a whole note rest, and that means that we don't play anything for 4 beats. So still keep track of your beats, but you could just rest your guitar, and to do that, you could either rest by just releasing your chord and just muting your strings with your left hand, kind of lay them flat, or just kind of make contact or do karate chop with your right hand and just mute your strings that way. Okay, now what we're going to do is do an E major for 1 bar, switch it to an E minor for bar 2, and then have a whole note rest for bar 3. I'm going to play this 2 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar. 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 9, we're going to go E minor for 1 bar, normal pattern. We'll have a whole note rest for bar 2. We won't play anything. Switch it to E major with normal pattern on bar 3, and then we'll have a whole note on bar 4. Okay, here comes number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 2, rest, 3, 4. Bar 3, 2, 3, 4. Bar 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 10, we're going to have an E major for 2 bars, and the first one's going to be a whole note and then normal pattern for bar 2. Switch it to an E minor with normal pattern on bar 3, and then a whole note rest on the 4th bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 4, rest, 3, 4. Okay, for this chapter scale, we're going to learn the E major pentatonic and the E minor pentatonic. Pentatonic scales are just 5-note scales, and they're built off of the major scale, and they're just going to pick 5 notes off of those scales, which work really well. Now, as far as getting your notes to ring, I recommend just take it super slow, and the first step is just to get to produce a sound. Okay, now if we look at number 1A, this is going to be the E major pentatonic. First, I just want to mention the notes. It's going to be an E, F sharp, G sharp, B, C sharp, and then you go back to an E, and that's your octave. Okay, now as far as our notes go, it's going to start with our open 6th string. So just go ahead and hit that open. It's going to go to your 2nd fret on the 6th string. So I'm going to recommend to use your index finger. And first step is just see if you can get that note to ring. So you're going to press down on the 2nd fret, use your thumb on the back of the neck for some pressure. And that's a good practice, is just getting that note to ring. Okay, the next note's going to be on your 4th fret on the same string, so you could take your index finger right up to it. And eventually we start to talk about using different fingers. So if I were to go open to my index for that 2nd fret, I could also use my ring finger to get that 4th fret, but no problem just to focus on your index finger for these first chapters and just get your notes to ring. So if I go open 2, 4 on the 6th string, it would sound like this. Okay, now go to your 5th string, and we're going to go 2 to 4, and then 2nd fret on your 4th string, and that's where it ends. Now we're going to come back down to descend it, so that same note, 2nd fret, 4th string. On your 5th string, we'll go 4 to 2, and then 6th string is a 4-2 open. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play that scale with quarter notes. I'm just going to hit each one time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now here's coming back down. Now for number 1B, we're going to do the same scale, but we're just going to hit each note 2 times. And you could just do 2 down picks for that. And this is going to sound like eighth notes. The way we usually count eighth notes is like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, let's go ahead and try that scale hitting each note 2 times this time. 3 and 4 and. Coming back down. Okay, for number 1C, we're going to play the same scale, but this time we're going to take it up for a second octave. So we're going to go up a little bit higher. We're going to still be in that same area. So start off your scale like we've already done it. Open 2, 4, 6th string, 2 to 4 on your 5th string. Now we go to that 2nd fret on the 4th string. Okay, now here's where we stopped before. We're going to keep going this time. We're going to go to our 4th fret on the same 4th string. Okay, just one note on your 3rd string. It's the 1st fret. On your 2nd string, we'll go open to 2, and then open 1st string. Okay, now coming back down, open 1st string, 2 to open on your 2nd string, just the 1st fret on the 3rd string, 4 to 2 on the 4th string, 4 to 2 on the 5th string, and then 4 to open on the 6th string. Okay, here's that scale up and down. 3, 4. Coming back down. So just remember to take it as slow as you need to go, no rush at all, and then just keep repeating them. You'll start to get in the habit of repeating your scales, and then you can also try a little faster if you like too, but just keep it nice and slow. The main thing is just getting your notes to ring. For number 2, we're going to learn the E minor pentatonic. This is a great scale, one of my favorites for sure. The notes for your E minor pentatonic is going to be an E, G, A, B, D, and then back to an E for the octave. Okay, this one's going to start off open 3 on the 6th string. Then we're going to go open 2 on the 5th string. And then open 2 on the 4th string. Coming back down, 2 open 4th string, 2 open 5th string, and then 3 open 6th string. Okay, here's the E minor pentatonic going up and down. 3, 4. For number 2B, we're going to just hit each note 2 times, and this will sound like eighth notes. 3 and 4 and. Coming back down. Okay, for number 2C, we're going to climb up 2 octaves with our E minor scale. Let's start off what we've already done. Open 3, 6th string. Open 2, 5th string. Open 2 on your 4th string. Okay, now we're going to keep going. Open 2 on the 3rd string. Open 3, 2nd string. And then on our 1st string, we're going to hit the open E string, or the 1st string. That's our octave, but we're going to go a little bit higher and hit your 3rd fret on that same string. Okay, now coming back down, we'll go 3 open 1st string, 3 open 2nd string, 2 open on the 3rd string, 2 open on the 4th string, 2 open 5th string, and then 3 open 6th string. Okay, here's that scale up and down. 3, 4. Coming down. Okay, now we'll also be learning about how to improvise with our chords and our scales. I'm going to go ahead and just jam a little bit. So let's say we have our E major chord. Kind of fun to just start to be able to play your own rhythms. You can keep a beat if you want. Strumming a bit, try some up strums too if you like. But basically start to get to know your chords a little bit, and you can start to make your own music. This way we can also have some fun and be creative. If I do an E minor chord, strumming it a bit, you can play some long chords, play some shorter notes, start to make your own jams. Eventually you could even make your own chord progressions too once we learn more chords. But I'm always going to be recommending to jam or do some improvisation with your chords and your scales. Now, if I want to jam with my scale, I can also use my scales with these chords, and we're going to start exploring that more once we get to the further chapters too. But already feel free with your scales if you want to start to jam around a little bit, like your E minor scale. You can start to just make your own riffs, have some fun with it. Here's the major pentatonic vibe. So remember, these scales and chords are here for you to have fun with, along with learning songs, which we definitely will always be talking about, is keep learning songs. But I definitely recommend to use your creativity too. This chapter study, we're going to talk about some long notes. Okay, now we've already introduced the whole note and the whole note rest. Again, the whole note is going to be that slanted rectangle. That's going to be a chord lasting for 4 beats. And then a rectangle box hanging off the second to top line is your whole note rest. And that means we don't play anything for 4 beats. We'll just be doing down strums for all of our chords for this study. So for number 1, grab your E major chord, and we're going to go 4 bars of whole notes. So I'm just going to hit the very first beat, let it ring for four beats, and then I'm going to strum it again and do that same thing for each of these bars. Okay, here comes number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Last bar, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now for number 2, we're going to do the same concept with an E minor chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Fourth bar, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 2 a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Fourth bar, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 3, I'm going to introduce the concept of tied notes. Now, when you see a note that's tied to another note, you're going to see that long line kind of swooping, connecting 2 notes. So on bar 1 and 2, we're going to play a whole note, let that note last for 4 beats, and as it's tied to another whole note, it means that we're going to not strum it again, but just let that same chord last for another 4 beats. So when we tie something, we have normal value plus the note it's tied to. Okay, so we're going to do that for the first 2 bars. It's going to be one big E major chord lingering for 2 bars or 8 beats. And then we'll do that again for bars 3 and 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Fourth bar, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 4, we're going to start to incorporate the whole note rest. We're going to have an E major with doing whole notes for first 2 bars. Then we'll have a whole note rest on bar 3. We won't play anything, and then back to a whole note on bar 4. One thing I recommend when you're resting, you can also have your chord kind of ready to go. I'm just not playing, but that way I'm ready for when we produce the notes. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, rest, rest, rest. Fourth bar, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 5, we're going to have an E minor, and we're going to start off with the whole note rest on bar 1, and then we'll have a whole note on bar 2, and then we'll repeat that again for bars 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, rest, 3, 4. Fourth bar, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 6, we're going to have an E major for the first bar. It's going to be a whole note. Then we'll have a whole note rest for bar 2. We'll switch it to an E minor on bar 3 for a whole note, and then we'll also have a whole note on bar 4, and we're still playing that E minor. Okay, here comes number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, rest, rest, rest. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Fourth bar, 2, 3, 4. For number 7, we're going to have an 8-bar progression. For the first 3 bars, we're going to do whole notes on E major. We'll have a whole note rest on bar 4. We'll switch it to an E minor, and on bar 5, we'll have a whole note. Bar 6 is a whole note rest, and then we'll go back to whole notes for bars 7 and 8. Okay, here comes number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Fourth bar, rest, 3, 4. Fifth bar, 2, 3, 4. Sixth bar, rest, 3, 4. Seventh bar, 2, 3, 4. Eighth bar, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 7 a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Fourth bar, rest, 3, 4. Bar 5, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Bar 7, 2, 3, 4. Bar 8, 2, 3, 4. For 8, we're going to have another 8-bar progression. We're going to start off with a whole note rest, and then we'll go into an E minor with a whole note that's tied to another whole note. On bar 4, we'll have a whole note rest. On bar 5, we'll go to E major with a whole note tied to another whole note. Bar 7's a whole note rest, and then we'll do a whole note on bar 8. Okay, here comes number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 1, rest, 3, 4. Bar 2, 2, 3, 4. Bar 3, 2, 3, 4. Bar 4, rest, 3, 4. Bar 5, 2, 3, 4. Bar 6, 2, 3, 4. Bar 7, rest, 3, 4. Bar 8, 2, 3, 4. Thank you so much for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you for chapter 2. Take care.